In the scorching suburbs of Scottsdale, Arizona, where every blade of grass is regulated and every curtain color approved by committee, the Homeowners Association wasn't just about keeping up appearances. It was about control. Absolute, soul-crushing control wrapped in the pretty bow of community standards. But Karen Delaney, our beloved vice president, took it to a whole new level of crazy. My wife Emma was 12 weeks pregnant with our miracle baby after 2 heartbreaking losses. High risk. Every appointment felt like walking on eggshells. That afternoon at the Community Wellness Center, which housed private medical suites leased to local clinics, we were finally getting that crucial ultrasound. The room was dim, the monitor humming softly as the tech glided the wand over Emma's belly. I held her hand, both of us holding our breath for that tiny heartbeat. The door swung open without a knock. There she stood, Karen Delaney in her perfectly pressed blazer, HOA badge gleaming like a sheriff's star, one hand on the doorframe as if she owned the damn place. Her eyes scanned the room like she was inventorying our private moment. "Excuse me," I said, voice low but steel-edged. "This is a private medical appointment. You need to leave. Now." Karen didn't even flinch. She smiled that thin, practiced smile, the one that said, "I've never been told no in my life. This entire building falls under HOA oversight, Dr. Mitchell. I'm here to verify proper usage of common facilities. Covenants are very clear." Emma's hand tightened in mine. The tech froze, looking between us. I stepped forward, blocking her view of the monitor. "Ma'am, your HOA bylaws don't trump HIPAA or medical privacy laws. This is a licensed clinical space. Get out." She tilted her head, like a predator assessing weakness. "I don't raise my voice, doctor. I don't need to. The board has authority here. Step aside." The audacity. This woman had the nerve to treat my wife's vulnerable scan like some HOA inspection tour. I picked up the phone on the wall. "Security. Unauthorized entry into exam room 3. Now." Karen's eyes narrowed. "You'll regret escalating this." Security arrived fast. 2 burly guys who clearly hated HOA drama as much as I did. Karen protested just enough for show. "I'm cooperating, but this is an outrage." As they escorted her out, the door clicked shut. Silence returned, but the air felt poisoned. Emma exhaled shakily. "Is she gone?" "For now," I whispered, kissing her forehead. But I knew better. People like Karen don't back down. They weaponize paperwork. Later that day, my phone pinged. HOA notice. Unauthorized commercial medical activity in shared facility. Violation of covenants 4.2 and 7.8. Fine, $500. Access restricted pending review. She'd twisted it, made her intrusion into our violation. That night, I went to the HOA office alone. Fluorescent lights buzzed like angry hornets. Karen emerged from the back, smiling like we were old pals scheduling a barbecue. "You got the notice," she said sweetly. "I got your fantasy fiction," I replied. "You trespassed during a protected medical procedure. The clinic logged it. State regulators are next if you push." She leaned on the counter. "The board has jurisdiction over all common areas. You're overreacting, doctor." "Overreacting? My wife is high risk. You scared her half to death. And now you're fining us for your power trip." Around us, other residents shifted uncomfortably. An older guy caught my eye and shook his head slightly, the universal sign of "she's done this before." I didn't argue more. I documented. Because here's the beautiful irony of tyrants. They love rules until those rules apply to them. The next week, things escalated exactly as predicted. Certified letters. Demands for usage logs. A mandatory hearing at the rec center where Karen played queen, listing our violations like she was reading from the Bible. Residents filled the chairs. I waited my turn. When I spoke, my voice was calm. This isn't about grass height. On March 12th, Karen Delaney entered a licensed ultrasound suite without consent during my wife's appointment. She identified herself as acting under HOA authority. That's not oversight. That's a privacy breach. The clinic reported it to State Health. Not me. Them. The room went dead quiet. Murmurs rippled. Karen's smile froze. "That's not relevant to our jurisdiction," she snapped. "Funny," I said, "because the state seems to think it is." After the meeting, stories poured out. She inspected my elderly mom's apartment unannounced. Fined me for a wheelchair ramp that didn't match aesthetic standards. Karen moved through the crowd trying to spin it, but the ground was shifting under her Louboutins. I connected with Mark, the maintenance supervisor. Poor guy was sweating bullets. She's been demanding master keys to everything medical. Told me my job depends on cooperation. But after what happened, I gave the logs to the clinic. All of them. Her entries. Multiple times. That's when the noose tightened, thanks to her own obsession. 2 days later, the state health inspector arrived unannounced at the wellness center. I watched from across the street as Karen's car pulled up early. She slipped inside with a folder, probably to clean up evidence or intimidate Mark again. Bad move, Karen. The inspector, a no-nonsense woman named Ramirez, entered precisely on time. I followed as witness. Inside, Karen was hovering by the ultrasound door, lecturing Mark. "Ma'am," Inspector Ramirez said flatly, "step away from the restricted area. This is an official investigation into unauthorized access complaints." Karen spun around, badge flashing. "I'm the HOA vice president. This building is our responsibility. Under state law, your badge means nothing here." Ramirez cut her off. She turned to Mark. "Access logs, please." Mark handed them over, voice steady for the first time. The screen lit up, Karen Delaney. Entry after entry. No authorization, including the day of the ultrasound. Karen's face went pale. "This is a misunderstanding. I was ensuring compliance." Ramirez didn't blink. "Compliance? You've repeatedly accessed protected medical spaces without consent, misrepresenting authority. This triggers mandatory reporting to the medical board and potential civil penalties. Your HOA may face liability for enabling this." I didn't say a word. I didn't need to. The look on Karen's face, that moment her kingdom of made-up rules collided with actual law, was pure poetry. Her mouth opened and closed like a fish out of water. The woman who thrived on making others squirm was finally squirming. She tried one last power play. "The board will fight this." Mark spoke up quietly. "The board already knows. They're reviewing your position, Karen." The inspector continued her work, photographing, documenting, sealing the fate Karen had written herself with every illegal step. Weeks later, the dominoes fell beautifully. The insurance carrier for the community flagged massive liability exposure, from HOA overreach into medical areas. Premiums skyrocketed. The board panicked. At the next emergency meeting, Karen sat small in her chair. No blazer power moved today. The vote came swift, suspension of all oversight into leased medical spaces. And Karen Delaney? Her resignation was announced, effective immediately for personal reasons. No standing ovation. Just quiet relief from neighbors who'd lived under her thumb too long. Emma and I went back to that same ultrasound room a month later. The door stayed closed. No interruptions. The tech smiled. "Everything looks perfect." As we drove home through our neighborhood, still neat, still manicured, but somehow breathing easier, I realized the sweetest karma wasn't Karen losing her title. It was watching a system built on fear and control get humbled by the very rules it pretended to worship. True or false? The real power abuser here was the couple defending their privacy, or was it Karen Delaney whose ego-driven overreach finally got the karma it deserved? Drop your answer in the comments.